anything we did in free agency is not going to preclude us from drafting a player at that position. Quarterback is the most critical position in our sport, and we have to get that right. Could we add somebody? Yes. Could we start the season without adding anybody? Yes. And we'll see where it all goes.
I know that the process that we've gone through in terms of getting to know the quarterback pool has gained some attention, but it's not an irregular process for us in terms of, locking in and getting a feel for a certain pool within the pool, if you will. I think that is the ultimate competitor's position. And so those that run to and not from competition, those that embrace competition and the intensity of it and the anxiety maybe associated with it, I think they have a leg up. Obviously, there's some pedigree-related things per the position, arm strength, accuracy, and so forth, but that's evident. It's either present or it's not. The intangible quality associated with competition, I think, is something that's valuable.
That is an extremely valuable insight from Mike Tomlin. To the extent that we're trying to figure out, number one, are they going to go quarterback with the 20th overall selection? Number two, which one? Mike Tomlin's assessment of whether or not this is a person who will run to competition, not away from it, he needs to add that to his list of sayings. I said this yesterday, Chris. If you're one of Mike Tomlin's kids, they probably look at each other like, roll their eyes. Here's another one of Dad's sayings. We want volunteers, not hostages. We run to competition, not away from it. We seek no count, whatever. I mean, but they're great. Right. But they're great. Right. It works. But that tells me what they're looking for. They just don't want a guy who can make the throws. They want a guy who's going to, when the moment arrives, be ready to lead a team into the fray. That's what they want. And they're not going to tell us who they're thinking about. They're not going to tell us who they like. But he gave us a little insight into what they're looking for.
No question. No doubt about it. I don't know who that guy is. I don't. Again, I could see it being any of them. I really can. A lot of people got them, kind of earmarked for Malik Willis at 20. That's what I did in my mock draft. I do. I could see Malik Willis, catching the eye of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. We've talked about a little bit in the past, like, the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of those teams that don't necessarily hide their intentions all the time when it comes to who they want to draft and what they want to do. And it just seems like they've been front and center with Malik Willis kind of from early on. And I could see them wanting to play this style of football. First off, Malik Willis is that kind of guy that is, gritty, tough, competitive. The play's never over, coach. I'm going to make it happen still with my legs, or I make a big throw. He's the guy that can make big throws down the field to Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. And then, he'll scramble, and we get a few quarterback design runs that'll keep the offense on the field, and that'll be great for my defense. And we'll play this style of muck-it-up football. Muck-it-up, M-U-C-K, please, everybody out there. I just want to make sure.
Thank you.
And I could see them going that way. And that's why I ended up going Malik Willis with them. To me, the way he and Corral handle themselves on the field, I do look at them as alphas. You could tell they're relaxed. They smile. They talk to people. They're but again, I don't know. With Pittsburgh specifically, I do think it's more Malik Willis than anybody.
I know that Peter King has Kenny Pickett, the Pitt quarterback, as the selection by the Steelers at 20. I look at it this way.
Yeah.
If they really like one of these guys and decide that they must make the move, if they don't want to start down a path that lasted 20 years between Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger, and it was long 20 years, they still were competitive. They made it to a Super Bowl, but you can look it up. The list of starting quarterbacks between Bradshaw and Roethlisberger, not impressive. So if they're going to try to make a cleaner handoff of the baton from Roethlisberger to next first-round quarterback, and they really like one of these guys, Chris, I think they're going to move up. I don't think they're going to sit there. Why chance it? It's very simple analysis, which qualifies me to engage in it. If you really want one of these two guys, don't sit there and sweat it out on Thursday night through 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, because at some point someone's going to jump you. At some point somebody's going to guess right, and they're going to cut the line. If there's a guy you really like, do what they did in 2003, trade it up to get Troy Polamalu. 2006, traded up to get Santonio Holmes. 2019, traded up to get Devin Bush. That's what I think they'll do. That's going to be the ultimate proof. If they really love one of these guys, they're going to move to get him. The idea of them sitting there at 20, and waiting for them to fall, chances are you're not going to get your choice. We don't know who they want between Pickett and Willis. They presumably have, at this point in the game, a preference. You're going to sit back and wait and hope that your preference is there?
Yeah.
If they really want him, they're going to go get him.
I hear you. It's risky, but this is a year where it could happen. There's not. We know the teams that need quarterbacks. There's not many of them, And to me, like, hey, Carolina, we know quarterback at 6. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. And by all due accounts, by people I know in the league and all that, I think they don't want to do that. And how could you want to do that if you're Matt Rule? How could you want to do that? All right, so that to me, I'm going to say no. Now, the other team I will look at for your conversation here is number 8, Atlanta. Atlanta could be looking at it going, like, saying exactly, like, hey, we need a quarterback. We're not going to wait. Let's just make it happen. Pick number 8. We like this guy. Let's go. I could see them liking Malik Willis or Corral. Listen, Corral has no buzz. I don't think he would even be the guy there. He's my favorite quarterback. There's no doubt. But he's going to be late in the first round, early in the second round. Atlanta is the team I look at that they might have to worry about in the first round to take Malik Willis, the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they don't take him, now maybe you can sit back and kind of see where it goes. There's not a lot of teams in front of you that you think you got to worry about the quarterback conversation. I know the Saints, they got those 2 picks. You go, ooh, well, then maybe they want to do that. But by all due accounts and things, again, the people I know in the league and looking at the Saints, the Saints are good. And from everything I heard, they look at it and go, the NFC's not that great. We're still one of the better teams. We're not going to just do the quarterback thing. I think they made this trade to get pick 16 and 19 to go, we're good. We're getting 2 guys that can help us this year, and we're going to still beat Tampa Bay and the Bucs and Brady with Jameis Winston. I think that's the way the Saints are looking at it. So that's where it's interesting, Mike, is, you're right. They might have to trade up. Maybe you don't have to trade up that much. But I do think it's a year where if Atlanta doesn't take him at 8, Malik Willis, that you might be able to sit back and go, whoa, he could fall in our lap just like Mac Jones and New England Patriots last year.
I think the other reality, too, is they could get jumped by someone.
They could.
It's not just who's in front of you. It's who's behind you and who's maybe plotting a move to get in line before you can pick the guy.
Sure.
What if the Lions are thinking at 32, we want somebody, and maybe we have to nudge up to 19 in order to get Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis. If we're going to make that move now, one more year with Jared Goff, bye-bye, Jared, we're going to move on to one of these other guys. So that's part of the concern.
Sure.
Part of the psychology they have to work through while they do is you're seeing the points bet odds there for the teams most likely to take Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett. The Panthers still continue to be the favorites to take Pickett with the 6th overall pick.
I don't believe
them.
I say no way. I just say no way. Unless Tepper does it and just goes off the rails, I can't understand why you'd want to do it for the reasons we've already stated. You're asking for an issue with Kenny Pickett down there with Sam Darnold. Everybody in the team's going to go, wait, we drafted this guy? Darnold's arm's stronger. Darnold's release is quicker. Darnold's throwing the ball more accurately and played football. He looks better in practice. Why did we draft this guy first? That, to me, is scary, let alone it's a huge year for that coaching staff. I mean, the ass is hot of Matt Rule. They got to win, and I can't imagine you'd want to go down with, well, let me break in a rookie quarterback on the most important year of my coaching career. That's where I just have a hard time believing the Panthers at 6.
And you mentioned David Tepper. There's no secret that the Panthers owner is highly motivated to find a franchise quarterback. That has become very clear the past few years. But that raises another wrinkle as it relates to the team that holds the 8th overall pick. Arthur Blank is going to have an opinion. Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars, was overly candid with Albert Breer of SI.com about the fact that Khan has an opinion. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in the opinion of the owner of the team unless he's grinding the tape and scouting the players and really understands it. I think whatever opinion you have, you keep to yourself at that point, and you trust the people who you've hired who are busting their butts to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I could see Blank just a little bit of a finger on the scale, thinking we need a quarterback, because I remember being told back in the 2008-9 time frame when they drafted Matt Ryan 3rd overall, there was some billionaire prerogative that got exercise there. We're moving on from Mike Vick. We need a new face of the franchise. Yeah, new regime. I know you're thinking about Glenn Dorsey with number 3 overall, but kind of want the quarterback. And when the owner speaks, you better listen. If you want to be gainfully employed by that guy for an extended period of time, makes sense to be sensitive to what he wants. And if Arthur Blank's thinking, this Mariota guy misses a lot of games, and now Arthur Smith has him, and didn't Arthur Smith and the Titans bench him for Ryan Tannehill? I don't know that this is the guy that can be our quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Man, for some of these games, there aren't many people in the stands. I don't know about this. And
I hear you, Mike.
Again, from the coach's perspective and the GM's perspective, it's hard to take the approach, well, if we screw up a quarterback now, we'll be back in a couple of years to do it again, because it's not going to be you. The owner is the one who can do that.
No doubt.
He can pull that off.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
What the hell? Let's go ahead and push these people to get a quarterback now. If it doesn't work out, I'll blame it on them. I'll fire them, and then I'll push the next GM and the next coach to draft a quarterback. But that's the wild card at number 8.
I agree.
It's Arthur Blank. Is he going to want, after all those years with Matt Ryan, is he going to want to avoid a lost year like the one they had in 2007 when they didn't have Mike Vick, Matt Ryan wasn't there yet, and it was just a big mess for the Falcons?
Yeah, no, I hear you, Mike, and it certainly makes sense. I look at Atlanta for like this, Mike. I look at them and go, Malik Willis at 8, I certainly think about it. I do. I look at it and go, man, they need some players on their team. I put, a defensive tackle from Georgia there. They got to start building something. But, I could go back to the conversation with the quarterbacks. I could see, okay, maybe there's a Malik Willis at 8. He makes sense for what the style of football they want to play. If they don't take him at 8, of course, I expect him to be off the board by the next time they pick, in the second round, which I believe is pick. Let me just make sure I got this right. 43. If they don't take Willis at 8, I think there'll be a player for Corral at the end of the first or early second and get him. Both of those guys, to me, fit what Arthur Smith wants to do. It's like what you saw, and you brought up Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. Well, what did they do? Run the ball and then fake run the ball, sit back there, and we're looking to strike down the field. We want we want A.J. Brown, 40-yard post corner. We want a post 50 yards down the field. We want this guy crossing the field 25 yards down the field. And to me, that's where Malik Willis and Matt Corral, they're made to play football like that. That's all Corral did in college. He can flick it and throw lasers all over the field to make people miss back there off play action all day long, and so can Malik Willis. So I could see those guys really being, the fancy the quarterbacks that catch the eye of the Atlanta Falcons over a guy like Kenny Pickett. That's for sure.
Well, it's going to be something to watch. All the teams that tried to get Deshaun Watson and failed, the 3 finalists, the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints, all from the same division. Those are teams to watch. The Steelers are a team to watch. Even though the quarterback position isn't like it was last year, where right out of the gates, quarterback, it's still going to hover over round 1. The over-under at PointsBet's 2.5 quarterbacks in the round. I'm probably at 2. I think your mock draft is at 2.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.